Hello and welcome to day 10 of our 30-day yoga challenge or inspiration, where we are doing healthy core and some yoga flow into a peak pose. And today's peak pose will be a prone pigeon pose, where we fold forward and open our hips, stretch our lower back and stretch the hip flexor and the quad. So take a comfortable seat. You might, before you even sit down, you might need a blanket. I have it folded for later, for maybe using for our pigeon pose, if that is something that you need for knees or ankles or hips. Take a comfortable seat and we'll set an intention for our practice to clear and clean stagnant energy that sometimes gets stuck in our bodies and we feel like we can't really move from our true center and from our true intuition that we all have within us. So we'll turn our layers today into purification and into a nice, comfortable, relaxed state afterwards. So let's take our hands together in front of the heart. Sit nice and tall on your sit bones. Join our voices in an Om. Take a nice big inhale. And release the hands and open the eyes, and we'll dig right into our 5 cat-cow to really open up into the whole central channel and open up into the spine and get the digestive juices going in the belly and some nice flow into the organs and binding all parts of our body together. Tuck the toes under, arch the spine up towards the sky, press your hands, your knees, your toes as you are pulling the lower belly all the way in and up. And inhale, long spine, and exhale, bring your spine up towards the sky. And take a nice big concave version, and then press hands, knees, toes, as you use your abdominals, not the glutes, not the hip flexors, just those lower abs that sometimes can kind of just go to sleep. We want to wake them up and make sure that we have upper and lower body binding and having a nice communication. Exhale, bring it back down, and we'll do 2 more. Arch the spine up towards the sky. Press the knees, the hands down, arch the spine. Make some memories for the front side of the belly to pull in and up. And 1 more time, bring it all the way up towards the sky. Last one, arching the spine, kind of waking up the pathways of the body. And exhale, come into neutral and come over onto your, doesn't really matter which side, take to one side, and we're gonna come into bent knees, hips and knees are aligned. I'm gonna do a little side for the obliques, for the hip, for the spaces between the ribs, the intercostal muscles. And we're going to take 10 up and down, stack your knees on top and below each other, and exhale and inhale, and exhale and inhale. And we'll just start by moving up and down, exhaling on the way up and inhaling on the way down. And we'll do 5 more here, and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and then we'll take 10 with our right leg, our left leg, the top leg, lifting up and down. What makes the most sense? Sweeping it up and down, exhaling, inhaling, doing a little extra kind of hold at the top, bringing it up and down, and 5 more, 4 more, and 3 more, 2 more, And one more. Bring it down and switch sides. Sometimes it's hard to kind of wake up the side of the waist. So we'll do it by giving ourselves a couple of crunches in a sideways. Bring your knees on top of each other, hips stacked, knees stacked. Turn your body up towards the sky and exhale up, inhale down for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7, 6, and we'll just keep this going for 4 more and 3 more and 2 more and 1 more, and then we'll take 10 by lifting the leg that's on the top and seeing if we can extend so that the knees come and meet each other again, so we stay onto the side of the body as we're lifting up the opposite side. And 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. We'll do 1 more for a little extra good measure and bring it back down. And coming all the way onto our back. And we're really doing this healthy core work before yoga practice, so we have some place to extend out from our into our yoga poses, from the center and out. Come all the way onto your back. Vacuum suck the lower back in towards the floor, and maybe this is where you end up. Maybe this feels really good for the core. Maybe this feels healthy for the organs to get like a nice massage all the way in, and maybe this is plenty. Keep the lower back in towards the mat, and then take your legs up into tabletop. If it's for you, arms up. We've been here 9 other days, I think, almost. We maybe mix it up a little bit. This one is just so healthy for lower back, for core, for hips, for the rotators, and for those lower ab muscles. So we're gonna continue with this, and we're going to just extend opposite arm and leg and do a little pulse out here. Bring it back in. Switch sides, do a little pulse and bring it back in. And a little pulse, and keep that lower back onto the floor. So you might not extend the leg very far out. You might not extend the arm very far out. We really want to make sure that we have that nice connection, that we're doing yoga with the body, binding all layers together, yoking our parts together so we feel whole, so we feel connected. And we'll do 15 more sets here. And 14 more. And 13 more. And always do a check-in that that lower back stays into the mat. 12 more. And 11 more. Should be a nice feeling in the whole body. And you could, for the next 10, keep your shoulder blades off of the floor and do that pulsation. And at any time, if it doesn't feel good, then we'll just put the feet down and vacuum suck the lower belly in and stay there. And that is a very healthy core as well. And we'll keep this going for 5 more on each side. And 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. Extending and then bringing it in. Take the knees in towards the chest in a nice hugging in kind of way. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down. Take your right ankle over your left knee for figure 4 and 10 lifts and 10 pulses. Just up and down. Exhaling, inhaling. Hold a little bit. On the way up. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. 5 more, 4 more, getting those deeper layers. 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. And hold it up and pulse for 10, for 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it back down. Phew, and switch to the second side. Take your left ankle over your right knee for figure 4, or like a supine pigeon pose. And then we'll add a little crunching to it to purify and lift off stagnation. We'll exhale up, inhale down, and exhale and inhale, exhale and inhale. 8 more, 7, 6, lower back stays in towards the mat. It's like a nice resistance of lowering down, and we're holding a little bit on the very top with our abs. We'll do 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. Holding it up and pulsing for 10, for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And take it all the way back down. Switch legs again. We're on the 4th healthy core exercise out of 5. So we have this one to the side, another figure 4. This time take your left elbow over towards your right knee, and you can lift your whole bottom body up as well if that feels good. And then we take elbow to knee for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we lift it back up and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it back down and switch sides. I hope you feel some of those. Take your opposite elbow to the opposite knee, left leg into figure 4, vacuum suck the belly, and start by just kind of lifting your legs up and down, and then take your right elbow to your left knee, or simply keep the legs down, or just do the legs, anything that works for you. Exhale, inhale. 7 more, 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and then we'll bring it back up and pulse for 10, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 more for good measure, and then we'll take it back down and take a little pause. There should be a nice little purification fire going on of toxins evaporating out. Let's visualize that. Take your hands onto the floor. Bring your knees in, reverse ab curl. Hands can be on the floor, hands can be underneath your sacrum. So extend your legs out and come up with your tush, with your sacrum, extending legs, or keep your legs bent the whole time. Anything that works for you. 8 more. 7 more. And 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we can continue take our hands behind the head and bring elbows to knees and still do our reverse curl lift. 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and extend it and bring the knees all the way in. Excellent. We can cross off our healthy core section and move in towards our yoga poses, knees side to side. So we're moving in towards pigeon pose today. So there'll be figure fours coming up in different variants, or supine swans, something like that. There are so many names to all these pigeon poses. Ekapada, Raya Kapotasana, preparatory pose is also one name. So let's take the knees over towards the left side. So the feet are on each side of your yoga mat. Left foot is over your right knee. Stretch in towards your right hip and get a nice twist and turn in towards the lower back, in towards the right side of the waist, ascending colon. Just getting a nice clearance and massage. One more breath here. And then release your left foot and take your knees over towards the right side. Adjust so that you feel comfortable, and take your feet so that they are touching the edges of your mat, so they're a little bit outer hip width apart, and then right ankle over the left knee for twisting into a supine figure four, kind of fallen over version of, can also be called windshield wiper twist. Right ankle over your left knee, stretching in towards the whole left side of the belly, lower back, hip, the whole area on the left side. And the descending colon is getting a nice stretch and massage and pulsation for healthy digestion aid. And then slowly release all of that. And again, maybe take your legs a little bit back and forth, and then come with your feet all the way together. We're still on our backs. Take your right ankle over your left knee, and we'll come back into figure four. This time stretch your left leg up and take your hands either underneath your knee or take them up of your, or under your knee, but up towards the sky. From here, I'd like for you to spread your toes on your left foot. All four corners are being pushed up towards the sky like an imaginary wall, and there's a slight bend in towards the knee so that we have a good communication for the upper and the lower leg. And your right ankle is karate chopping in towards the left top of the knee. And there should be some nice feedback in towards the right hip. Another few breaths right here. Breathing, softening and melting, and then gently switching sides. Take your left ankle over your right knee, and this could be a place where we stay, or we can bring the knees up, hands underneath your hamstrings, or stretch your left leg up, spread your toes, all 10 toes, press your right foot up to an imaginary wall, so all four corners are having like a nice stable anchoring into something. The knee is slightly bent so that we have communication and we don't overstretch the back of the knee. Instead, we are just using the right leg to get a little extra help to crank in towards the left hip area, the outer hip. Descend down in towards your sacrum, in towards your lower back. We'll stay here for another few breaths and enjoy this nice yummy stretch in our figure four variation. A few more breaths right here. Should be a nice hip release, and slowly release. Take your knees and feet all the way down, anchor in towards the seat, and then knees up, and we're going to roll all the way up to a comfortable seat and take our right leg into a figure four again. So we are coming back to seated figure four, left foot down, karate chop your right ankle in towards your left top of the knee and push your right knee forward. Lift your chest. You can walk your hands further in, or you can come down onto your forearms, anything that works for you. We're staying right here, smiling, enjoying, opening pathways, definitely clearing a whole bunch of stagnant energy from our hips. Take your left elbow and your right elbow underneath your right leg. So we're taking the elbow and the elbow underneath and having like a forearm hold on our right leg. So we can lift your right leg away from the left knee and turning and moving the right leg around a little bit. We could also from here extend your left leg. We can stay right here. So there's many options. There's either sitting or taking a hold of the leg, and the next one would be to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae and coming down to a kind of supine flying pigeon variation. Pull the lower belly in and up, and you can have your shoulder blades off the floor, or you can descend your shoulder blades down and press your lower leg in towards your elbows and get a nice shins in and thighs out for more extension and opening in towards the right hip, into the layers. Take your left leg up to the sky and give it a little kick and sit up with it. Nice, and switch sides. Extend your right leg out and then bend your knees. Take your left ankle over your right knee, hands behind, seated, figure four, hip opening, moving back and forth a little bit, or moving your hands in, or coming down on your forearms. Take something that works for you so that you have a delightful feeling in your left outer hip, in your left rotators, the whole area. And then gently take your arms underneath your knee and your ankle, knee and ankle. And then we can lift the leg away from the right knee or keep it there. So do what works for you. I like to extend my right leg out slightly, hook the heel down, spread my toes, and resist the rolling down with that core that we've been engaging. The lower belly lifts in and up, and we're finding each and every vertebrae as we make our way down into a upward facing forearm pigeon variation. You can keep your shoulder blades off, or you can roll all the way down onto your back. Breathing, softening, melting. Give yourself a few breaths right here. And then sweep your right leg up to the sky. Give it a kick. Curl in your lower abs and come back up to your seat. Nice. Extend your right leg out. And from here, come into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedaling in towards the back of the legs. Spreading the fingers, flossing your shoulders like we did in the previous yoga class. And just making sure that we have some good space. Open hips, open shoulders. Let's roll over into plank pose and come all the way down onto the belly. Come into low cobra. Click all the 10 toes down, widen the hands. Maybe lift up to a higher cobra. Chest, heart, lungs forward. Top of the head up towards the sky. And then exhale, release. Bring it back down. Hands by the shoulders. Child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Stretch your arms all the way forward. And gently take it all the way back up to tabletop. And we'll stay right here. Bring our right leg out to the side and circle in towards the hips. Making 5 laps around and 5 laps the other direction. Using the core as we moving our hip around so that we are having a nice stable foundation. And gently switch to the second side. Take your left leg out to the side and around. And around. And using the core to move about. And a few more here. And then switching to the second lap, loosening up any stagnation in the hips, breathing, softening, melting, and one more lap, and coming back to the center. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, pressing the hands down, lifting the upper arm bones. Come up onto the toes, lift the hips, press the hands down, extend the whole side of the body, bend the knees slightly, and just lift the hips a little higher. Concave into the lower back and support it with your lower belly. Downward facing dog. Right heel down, stretch into the back of the legs. Come back up and take the left heel down and stretch into the back of the left leg. And from here, come up on the toes, bend the knees, take your right ankle over your left knee for another figure four, this time in downward facing dog. Strong fingertips, strong palms, all four corners of the palm is very active. There's a nice lift in the center of the palm, and we're just simply coming in towards that right outer hip again. Come up high on your left toes, bend your left knee, and turn and churn energies, any stagnation out of the right side of the waist and hip area. And gently come back down, switch sides, come up on the toes. We can do this on the second side as well. Strong arms, strong fingers, karate chop your left ankle in towards the top of your right knee. Come up high on your right toes, bend your right knee, and push the floor away at the same time, and push your left knee towards the back. Figure four, downward facing dog. Skin to muscle, muscle to bone. And exhale, release. Take it back into child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, stretching the arms all the way forward. Give yourself a little pause here and plugging femurs into the hip socket for more clearance, for more rotation, for more vibrancies into the whole body. And gently coming all the way back up to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Roll forward onto plank pose, please, and lower all the way down. Inhale into cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder, and exhale, bring it back down, push into all fours, and come on to the left forearm and come up to your right fingertips. Come into half dolphin on your left arm, and your right fingers are supporting you. Take your right leg up 90 degrees, and then take those nice big circles in your right side of the hip, 3 each way, and then 3 on the other way around. And slowly come back down, switch sides, come down onto your right forearm, come up onto your left fingertips, tuck the toes under, and bring your left leg up 90 degrees. Take it down, open it to the side, and 3 big hip circles right here, and then other side around. And exhale, come back down, and all the way to all fours. Excellent. Let's step forward to Uttanasana, forward fold, and take a hand in each and elbow and come into our forward fold, moving side to side, swinging this way and that way. Take your hands to the hips, elbows to sky. Come all the way up to standing. Here we are, standing, first standing pose of today. Take the arms up towards the sky and exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step to plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. Inhale to cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Click all the 10 toes in the back, and exhale, bring it back down into downward facing dog. Exhale. sweep your right leg up towards the horizon. And then from there, open up your right hip, bend your right knee, curl that lower belly in and up to stabilize in towards the hips. Spread your toes on your right side. Take your right leg underneath you for our pigeon pose on the right side. And this is where you might take your blanket and put underneath your right seat. You might put it underneath your buttocks, have it folded like a bolster, and put it underneath your whole right femur and sit on it so that your hips can face forward. If you need the blanket, use the blanket. Come to the forearms. Have your back toes tucked under and walk your left foot back so that you have your left quad facing down towards the mat. Hips facing forward. Karate chop your right little toe side and enjoy your pigeon pose. Moving side to side. You might come all the way down. You might have a pillow for your head, for your arms, or blocks. You can take your hands forward. You can come all the way down with your forehead. Choose what works the best for you. We'll take 3 breaths here. And enjoy the deeper stretch for the whole right hip. Untying knots. Finding clearer pathways. Linking ourselves up with higher vibrations. And gently hands to the hips and come back up to a seat and step back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press the hands down, lift the upper arm bones. And gently from here, bring your feet back together and sweep your left leg up towards the horizon. Open up your left hip and bend your left knee up in the top. You can sink your right heel down, pull the lower belly in and up so we have a nice stable foundation for the hips to open up, for the hip flexor, for the quad. So pull the lower belly in and up, and then from there, come forward to pigeon on your left side. Tuck your right toes under, pull your left hip back, your right hip forward, and then from here, make your way onto blocks, onto pillows, onto anything that works. Or if this doesn't work, we'll lay on our back and pull the knee in towards the chest. Pigeon pose, however it works for you to stretch in towards your left hip in a different way. You can always come back to those seated figure fours or the supine figure fours. Karate chop your left little toe side. Take your hands forward if it's available. Maybe take your forehead towards the floor. Still tone into the lower belly to expand the back body, to dig a little deeper into the layers of the left hip, into the right quad. Update frequencies of receiving and giving out information. Updating so that we only receive information that's valuable to us. There's a lot coming at us sometimes, so let's do some yoga poses to make sure that we allow only the information that is meant for us to reach us, and staying away from the rest. And gently hands by the hips and come upright, and from there step it back to downward facing dog, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Come forward to plank pose. Lower all the way down. Inhale to cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Stretch your legs back, spread your toes, pull your shoulders back, and exhale, bring it all the way back down. And push back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your feet to the hands and inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold, feel all four corners of the feet. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, press the feet. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, release the hands to the sides. Bring your arms all the way up and hands to the heart. And from here, release the hands to the sides, and we're going to come all the way down to a seat. Stretch your legs forward. Take your hands by the hips, coming into Dandasana, closing up our practice by hugging the center line all the way from the outside and in, straight into our bright light that runs up and down in front of the spine. Take your chin to the chest. And slowly release that. And come on to your back. Either roll down or support yourself with your hands as you come down, or take it down in a nice slow motion way, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. And exhaling, taking it all the way down. Coming to happy baby, please. Arms on the inside, hands on the outside of the feet. Press your hands and your feet into each other, and maybe swaying a little bit side to side. This way and that way. Plugging the femurs back into an even state of moving to and from. Sacrum down, shoulder blades down. Breathing. Readjusting muscles, ligaments, and tendons into a new place of moving from. It's an ever rinsing and repeating and repeating and rinsing process with yoga. That's why it's so fun to come back to the yoga mat, because there's endless layers to dig into, endless layers to switch up and update so that they vibrate on new levels of vibrancy. Bring your knees into the chest, hug it all the way in, and then extend your arms and your legs, hook your thumbs, bring your feet out in the front. Stretch your body fully. And gently come into your Shavasana, resting your arms and your legs out to the side. Press your head, adjust your shoulder blades underneath you, and either choose to stay here for your closing of the practice or come to a comfortable seat if that feels better for you. So whichever works for you, of sitting or laying down. Take a Shavasana at some point after our practice though. That's very important to let everything absorb and adjust. So let's together choose what works the best for us and take our hands onto the knees. If we're sitting up, find that nice clear line of the spine, in the spine, through the spine. Heart of earth, heart of source. Feeling a new way of sitting on day 10 with a perhaps, hopefully, a more stable, healthier core and a more vibrant layers around us, and free of any holds, free of any stagnation after this pretty deep hip opening class. Short and sweet and packed. Let's take our hands. Either take your hands, if you're laying down, onto your heart and your belly. If you're sitting up, bring your hands together in front of the heart, joining our energies together into the center of the palm, in towards the breath of the palm, and just kind of feeling a nice buzzing energy circulating around the palms, the arms, the heart, the lungs. Keeping that going, of just a never-ending exchange of energy. Joining our voices in one Om to close our practice. Take a nice big inhale. and release the hands and open your eyes. And thank you so much for joining me for day 10 of this 30-day journey. I'm so excited for the rest of our 20 days together. Tomorrow we have warrior 1, 2, and 3 poses. So it will be standing up again a little bit more, and then we'll take a little bit up and down and moving in towards some back bends as well. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow right here on the yoga mat. Have a fabulous rest of your day, or maybe it's night, so have a nice sleep, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.